Hey folks, it's me. I'm back. Have you picked up King Leopard yet? You can get it on Amazon. Amazon edition will be blue instead of green. This is kind of Poole Anderson meets George R. R. Martin. That's what I built it as. It's mostly in the classic fantasy vein. I hope you will enjoy it. Check it out. Link is down below in the description. Now, I want to talk about, besides my book that you should buy, I want to talk about selling the illusion of desire. This is the model for how strippers make money. And it's also the model for how women make money on OnlyFans. OnlyFans mechanizes and scales up this illusionary girlfriend experience, but that's where the money is. And it really goes back to strip clubs. You might say it goes back into antiquity, right? With men who are convinced that the prostitute is interested in them. But in this case, with strippers, the man never really gets the satisfaction, right? That's illegal in most locations. Instead, what you get is a bunch of things that fall short of that, even things that involve physical stimulation like a lap dance. And that itself really leads men into this parasocial relationship, this term that people have used a lot. What is a parasocial relationship? It's like a slightly illusory social relationship. It's a loose social relationship where, you have a feeling that you have a friendship with a content creator, but they don't really know you, right? So that's kind of what a parasocial relationship is. This is something a little bit more than that. This is a totally fake, illusory, intentionally illusory relationship with a person, where that person is being intentionally deceived into the nature of what the relationship is in order to extract money out of the person. And I saw this in strip clubs. Just to be completely honest, like, I've been to strip clubs. I haven't been to one in a long time. I haven't been to one since I've been with my wife, but I went to ones before that because that tends to be a party activity on people's birthdays or for bachelor parties. Here in the US, it's a very popular activity. And you end up going to these things, especially when you're young and you think it's all fun and you're not really thinking deeply about how this works. But I saw this firsthand, and I really figured out what they were doing really quickly after seeing it and experiencing it, and was able to avoid pretty easily the pitfall of what I have seen firsthand men do. Friends of mine, I've seen them basically spend all their rent money, spend their mortgage on a stripper, under the belief that somehow that stripper is going to make a longer term connection with them. So I'll just give you an anecdote. I had a friend, and he, we were at a bachelor party trip or something. We went to a strip club, and the way that they do this is like they have like the dances that people like throw the money at, and that's not where the girls make their money. They make their money basically funneling men into these more private encounters where you might have a lap dance on the floor that might be, I don't know, back then it was like $20, right? Which scale it up now. But really what they're doing is they talk to the man, they're engaged in conversation, and then they persuade him to do a private dance, which would go to a private room. And in that private room, it's this idea you're in private, anything could happen. So one side of men think that this woman's going to be a prostitute, which they virtually never are. And the other side is a man who thinks this girl likes me. And that's the whole point, is she goes in and talks to you, asks you what you do, blah, 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 blah. And if you've ever spent any time at strip clubs, you find that the strippers talk to you a lot. And they talk to you not because they're actually interested in you. They don't really care about you at all, other than your money. They know that what they have to do is start to build some rapport with you so that you'll think that they are interested in you. And then they're like, oh, we can go to the private room and talk, but it's $100. And then it's $50 for another dance, and $50. And before you know it, the guy spends $1,200. I have firsthand seen men spend over $1,000 on strippers. I watched a recent YouTube video. Not actually, the video was not recent. I watched it recently. And it was from a bouncer who worked at strip clubs, and he was basically explaining this, that The guys that really they made their money from were these lonely, kind of passive guys who wanted female attention. The product they were being sold was female attention, and it was the belief that the girl was somehow interested in him. But they created all of these ways that the guy could never contact her. It's against the rules. They would give him fake names, sometimes 2 or 3 fake names. Oh, yeah, my name's not Candy, obviously. It's Amber. And then, no, your name's not really Amber. The other girl said your name wasn't Amber. Oh, yeah, it's actually Mary or something, right? So they would go through several different names in order to keep this illusion up that, like, oh yes, you're getting to know the real me. But the point of that video, and I believe this, having seen this, is the girls know what they're doing. They are there to extract money from men, and so whatever narrative you have about the girls being poor and desperate and having to make money off of their bodies and things like that. The fact is, the way they actually make money is not just showing their breasts, right? Or revealing other parts of their body, or even doing lap dances. It is pretending to care about a man, because that's what the man really wants. What the man wants is to be wanted. That's the male fantasy, believe it or not. The male fantasy is more than just access to the woman. It's that the woman wants him. And that's the illusion that they're selling. Scale that up to OnlyFans. It's the same thing. A guy goes on, he joins an OnlyFans. He gets a private message from the girl. Now, is that private message probably automated? Is it run by maybe the girl's dude boyfriend? Possibly. But the whole point of that private chat is to establish rapport with the person, ask them personal questions, get them to answer those personal questions so that they are revealing things about themselves, even if it's to a bot, that by revealing things about yourself to other people, you start to feel like you have an attachment to that person. You're telling your story to that person. And then they would reveal things back that could be totally false. It doesn't. And then they're sending you, here's a special picture that is not on my main page. And do you want to get more pictures, or do you want to have this? Do you want to have a live chat, right? You start selling the long tail products that are ever more expensive. The whole point is to turn a casual person into a whale. And so you see this at strip clubs. If you ever go to a strip club, there's the casual, and then there's the whales, and the girls are looking for the whales. They're walking the floor in between dances, talking to men to see, is this a guy from whom I can get a lot of money? And it's usually not the ones you think. It's not the guys who are wearing the Rolex watch, because yes, they have money and you might be able to get money from them, but it's actually the very normal looking guy. It's the guy who looks like he wants female attention. They're going to take him. They're going to start to funnel him into that back room where they are going to take him for all he's worth. I have seen guys, I have gone to the club with guys who have left that private room to hit the ATM to get more money. It's just like at a casino. You ever see somebody bust? They go bust at like a blackjack table, and what do? They go to the ATM to get more money out. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, so, but that's why the ATM is there. That's why there's an ATM inside the strip club. Is exactly for that purpose. It's like, once you get this guy going, you don't want to stop that money train. You want this guy to like really know it. And it's like, I've seen guys that come out of that private room and they're like, I'm going to meet her afterwards. It's like, dude, you're not meeting anyone afterwards. No, we have to stay afterwards. It's like, we're not staying afterwards. What's going to happen is a bouncer is going to come out and tell you to leave, tell you to get lost, or he'll beat you up or something. Okay. But that's how this works the security is there to protect the girls from weirdos. Not that you would do anything, but the girl got all of your money. She never wants to see you again. She's hoping to do that to another guy tomorrow. That's how they make their money. That's what they do with this. That's what they do with this profession. And it's the same thing with OnlyFans. Now, I will say, I'll share another anecdote about this, which is that a lot of times people are thinking about like the plight of the stripper rather than how they make money, which is basically conning men. But I had a friend who worked at a strip club. He was like the DJ and the announcer. And I was like, oh, before I knew what was up, when I was like 20 or whatever, I was like, oh, that sounds like a great job. He's like, actually, it was a terrible job, because you get to know these girls and they're not, you don't date them. You would never want to date them. You can't take them home to mom. they're full of problems. They're messed up. And you feel bad about what they're doing, degrading themselves. You feel bad about what they're doing to like con men out of money. You just feel bad about it. Plus, you can't tell your mom what you do for a living. Like, you can't tell your own mom. So that's a problem. Like, you can't continue on with that. It really disrupts the whole illusion of, oh, it's a club full of hot girls. Wouldn't that be cool? It's like, yeah, it's cool for like 5 minutes. And same thing when you go there. If you go there with the illusion pulled back, what you see is just a really sad situation where you're not going to participate in losing your money. It's just a bunch of people trying to con people out of money, con other people out of money. That's what you get at the strip club. Okay, so OnlyFans is the same thing with that. What is just as disturbing to me about OnlyFans, and I think it's going to maybe be a long-term problem in our society, is the number of girls who've done OnlyFans and how little money they actually make at it. Because this was also true in the strip clubs, is that there were girls who would just not make any money. They had to pay to be there. They had to pay like $50 or $100 to basically have a spot that night to try to get money. Now, if you can get one guy into a private room, you've made all your money for the night there, but other times you didn't do it. So there were girls that stripped and got no money. But with OnlyFans, it's worse because they're stripping and they're not getting any money. I think I saw like the average OnlyFans is like $50 a month or something they make, like the girl makes. So that means that like half of them are making less than that, roughly. You know, it means like there's a huge concentration of girls who make virtually no money on OnlyFans. But unlike the strip club where it's live, right? If somebody sees you there, they may never know you again. If it's a big city or whatever, it's more anonymous. On OnlyFans, your pictures are on the internet forever. So you've basically made yourself a digital prostitute for nothing. Like you sold, what's the Dostoevsky quote? Like your greatest sin is that you sold your soul for nothing or something, right? Like your greatest sin is that you did this for nothing. Like you got no reward for doing this. And that's awful. But that's what we're going to think of going forward. I think that's the main thing that I wanted to get across. When you understand that the product is selling men the illusion of a woman's interest, the whole thing is just way grosser. It's just way worse than what you would think. And it's why there's never been a place that I've really cared to go other than like curiosity. Maybe when I was 21, I think like my friend, I had a friend who took me on my 21st birthday. He might be watching this video. And we went there and it was an interesting experience, but you figure out pretty quick, like what is actually up with that. And then the other times I went with bachelor parties, it's like, no, don't do that. Don't go in that private room. He's like, no, dude, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. And I'm like, no, it's not cool. You're just going to give her money for no reason, for nothing. You're not even going to get the satisfaction of an ending out of that. Right. But it happens, and that's the way it works. So anyway, leave me your thoughts down below. I know that's kind of a weird thing to talk about, but I think it's important to think about how this works, maybe outside of the sexual realm, like the parasocial relationship that people work at online in order to try to create connections with people that they don't really know and don't really want to know, right? They want to create the illusion that there's a connection there. Now I'm asking for comments, and it's like, well, this is parasocial. It's like the comments inform me a lot, and I have a lot of great conversations in the comments, and I know a lot of you the way that I know other people on other platforms, like on X. It doesn't mean that you're the same level as my neighbor, but you're a person, and so I care about what you think, and and I hope you're doing great. I hope everybody watching is doing great. I really do. So anyway, leave me your thoughts on that, and I would love to read them, and I'll check you all next time. Have a great day.